I've just thrown up massively downstairs.
It's fine, don't worry, I'm just having a little rest.
Man in a house up there gave me some coke.
It scares the bejeebers out of me. Random Brits in Switzerland will mash your face up on these rocks. I do believe that is a snow cave. I've got very weak legs now. I've got no energy.
These ladies want me to stop.
The good thing about DNFing a race in Switzerland is that you get to come back and do it all over again. I am in the beautiful Swiss town of Fiesch, just about 2 hours drive from Geneva, and we're going to run the Swiss Alps 100, which I DNF'd last year. It's about 6:30 in the morning. We're going to spend the day climbing the Swiss Alps. How brilliant is that going to be? It's going to be a gorgeous day. We're going to get to run alongside the biggest glacier in the Alps, the Aletsch Glacier, and we're going to get to run across the Aspi-Titter Suspension Bridge. I am so excited again, and we'll get this race done today. We'll get this race finished. Confidence is born out of experience. The knowledge that you've been here before, you've crushed tougher challenges than this in the past, and you've learned from your mistakes. Arriving for my second attempt at the Swiss Alps 100, I was absolutely determined to succeed, and without being overconfident, I totally believed I would make it to the finish line.
Okay, this is Chris. Chris is from my neck of the woods in Brighton. We are running the Swiss Alps 100. It's about 6,000 metres of elevation gain. Hoping to finish before cut-off. Cut-off is 28 hours, so 27 hours, I think. So if we get in at 26 hours, 59 minutes, nobody cares. Is that right, Chris? Away we go.
We left the sport resort in Fiesch at 7 AM. It was set to be another hot day, but perhaps not quite as hot as it had been the year before. I knew if I could get through to the evening unscathed, I'd have a great chance of completing.
So the first kilometre is all on tarmac, uphill pretty much from the start, and then we're into this climb up to the Aletsch Glacier. It's about 1,200 metres, so it's going to take us a while.
The first climb is actually around 1,500 metres. It is, in fact, the longest climb and the highest elevation of the entire race. But you do get a bit of a break at 1,200 metres with the first aid station and a flat tarmac road before starting to climb again.
That's 3 kilometres in 42 minutes. Not halfway through the climb yet. I think the whole climb's about 7k. Four and a half kilometres in, just above the tree line now. So we're into the sunshine. Joanna, where are you from?
Virginia, United States.
Why are you here?
Because I love the mountains and my friends are crazy.
Yeah, we're still on this climb. 1 hour, 22 minutes in. 5.5k. We're about 7k in and just reached the kind of, well, it's not actually the top of this climb, but first checkpoint. And look, the family have come to meet me. That's nice, isn't it? So yeah, 1,200 metres of climb from the bottom at Fiesch to this first checkpoint here.
I must admit that first ascent was a shock to the system, and it was nice to see my family and get myself together a little before carrying on. I didn't need too much motivation though to keep going for this next section of the race. Without question, the highlight of the course, climbing up to the pass at Bettmerhorn and then running 5 kilometres alongside the largest glacier in the Alps.
Hello.
Hello. If there's one reason alone to come and run the Swiss Alps 100 or the 50k, it's to experience this. It's early enough in the race that you can still enjoy it without feeling completely shattered, and long enough that when you finally turn off the path, you're virtually at the next checkpoint.
So nice.
It's amazing. So it's pretty technical on this section. We are about 8.5 to 9k in, and we're descending down to the main path beside the glacier. The depth of the deepest part of that glacier is about 900 metres. From that ice there down to the base of the valley, there's that much ice. That is unbelievable, isn't it? And I believe I'm right in saying that it is the longest glacier in the Alps. I think it's around 22 kilometres long. Now, unfortunately, at this point in the race, there has been a landslide, so the course has been diverted. Used to go along the path that way. Today, they've made us go up. So we've got about a 150 metre climb now to avoid the landslide. It all adds to the fun, doesn't it? You can see we're following these red and white course, well, they're not course markers, they're the trail markers. So this section is all new. Last year it was a lovely smooth path alongside the glacier all the way. Now we've had a 150 metre climb and a boulder field. Brilliant though, amazing, looks amazing. So what's your name?
I'm Stephen.
Stephen, and tell me where you've come from today.
I'm from New York, the Hudson Valley, Beacon, New York.
And which race are you doing?
I'm doing the Swiss Mountain 100k.
Why on earth are you doing it?
To be on the trail with y'all lovely people, to challenge myself, to see this glacier.
And what goal do you have?
My goal is to get to Bern first,
Yeah.
then complete
Okay.
the goal.
No time limit?
No time.
Just under the goal, under the cutoff.
Yeah, make the cutoffs.
Good job.
Yeah,
Good luck.
thank you.
At 15 kilometres, the path turns away from the glacier and along to the second checkpoint at Glechterstube. As if we needed reminding that sometimes these races can be dangerous, the mountain rescue helicopter here had to come out to pick up a runner who, I believe, had injured their leg quite badly in a fall. 16 kilometres in 3 hours 46 minutes. Thanks guys, appreciate it. Okay. So those 8 stations will have fruit, crisps, bread, It's not a gourmet meal, it's not, you know, masses of food, it's just enough to keep you going. They've got gels as well there, tailwind, water, Coke. Leaving Glacier behind, we'd now lost the shade of the mountain and the cool air coming off the glacier, and we were about to descend into a stunningly beautiful but baking hot valley on our way to another highlight of the race. So we're on this punishing descent now, very technical, very steep, down to the Aspi-Titter Suspension Bridge, which is in about 3 kilometres from here, but you can actually see it already. I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but it is down there in the valley. You can probably see something shining on camera. That is the suspension bridge that we're going over as soon as we get down there. It's a slow descent because you just got to be careful on the rocks. It's technical. If you slip and you fall or you trip, you will mash your face up on these rocks. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's pretty tough. Are you going?
You go.
Are you fine?
I'm okay, I'm good, yeah. So you know I was saying about being careful not to fall over. Frank's just gone right over in front of me.
I will be famous.
Just sit there for a minute, Frank, relax.
Good luck.
He's okay, he's okay. I got my headscarf out and managed to soak it in some glacial runoff for the descent. What made this so difficult was the constant desire to look up and take in the absolutely stunning scenery, but knowing that if I did, my race could be over in a flash, and I had to make it to that bridge across the river.
There's a bridge across the river where the mountain meets the vale. And though my legs are heavy, I know my heart won't fail. Just a bridge across the river, that's all I need to see. And when I reach that bridge, I'll know I'm running free. Trail dust dancing in the heat, rocky path beneath my feet. The summit's far behind, these doubts keep racing through my mind. Something deep inside burns bright, pushing through this mountain's might. There's a bridge across the river where the mountain meets the vale. And though my legs are heavy, I know my heart won't fail. Just a bridge across the river, that's all I need to see. And when I reach that bridge, I'll know I'm running free. There's a bridge across the river where the mountain meets the vale. And though my legs are heavy, I know my heart won't fail. Just a bridge across the river, that's all I need to see. And when I reach that bridge, I'll know I'm running free.
Just over 21 kilometres, 5 hours and 5 minutes. That is slow, isn't it? And we are now arriving at the Aspi-Titter Suspension Bridge, which I am scared of, but I'm going over anyway. I did it twice yesterday. We came up here with the family, so I've been over it plenty of times now. We're just going over it one more time. Last year in the race I ran over it. I'm not going to run over it this year because it absolutely shattered me. So there's a 100 metre drop down to the gorge below. This suspension bridge is about 1 metre wide, and yeah, it scares the bejeebers out of me, but you know, we've got to get it done. Look, here's the drop. There's the view, which is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we're over the bridge. Now we've got some steep steps. It's a bit of a punishing climb out of the bridge, this, because you're already out of breath, your heart rate's going with adrenaline from that bridge crossing. Look at that, it's so awesome, isn't it? Hi again.
Hello, how are you?
Okay. Beautiful little climb through the woods. Hello.
Hello.
Now another few steps. And you can now see how far we've climbed up from the suspension bridge. Let's go. 80 kilometres to go. We're heading down to the Belwald aid station. A fairly nice grassy descent here. Beautiful views, look over there. I mean, it really doesn't get much more Swiss than this, does it? This is incredible. Somebody has very kindly loaned us their water. I think there's a private tap, but there's a note down there saying feel free to use it. So I've just covered myself in water and taken a load of drinks of it as well. So that's very nice. But we're not far away from Belwald aid station, but I've filled up my bottles already now, so I don't need to do that when I get there, which is good, so I can spend less time at the aid station. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Right, Belwald. Who's cheering me?
Just some random Brits.
Random Brits in Switzerland.
Random Brits. Well done. You're doing great. Great job. Well done.
Okay, Belwald aid station, 25k done. Let's get a little bit of food if we can. I've had coffee, I've had a few bits of banana. What else have I had? A bit of bread. Let's go! Right, bottles are all filled up. So I've got iced tea in that bottle, and then water in that bottle. I've got a Red Bull.
Last year, by this point in the race, the heat was already too much. My stomach had turned and I was feeling terrible. This time, the heat wasn't quite so intense and I was able to take advantage of the easy trails. I was half an hour faster on this section than last time and making good progress.
Okay, so we've reached the split point. So if you're doing the 50k, you go down that way. Doing the 100k, we carry on that way. Cheers, Andy.
See you updating when you get there.
Oh, right, okay. So some nice running downhill, nice grassy descent. So we've been able to just put a few steps together. Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely stunning here. If you ever get the chance, you've got to come and do it.
Whilst I make my way through the Swiss countryside, if you haven't yet subscribed to the Film My Run channel, please do that now and be sure to watch to the very end to see what happens. Thank you also to the sponsors of today's video, Flying Burrito and Enitor. And finally, do share this video with anyone you think might be interested in running the Swiss Alps 100.
7 hours 35 minutes, we've just hit 32k. That's 20 miles. So the next checkpoint is Reckingen, which is, actually I don't know, about 5k away, something like that. Look at this lovely cafe, there's a cafe down here. I'm not going to stop at it. Much as I would love to stop at this cafe, I won't. But it's gorgeous.
If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you'll know how much I love my coffee, and quite often, if the opportunity arises, I will stop at cafes en route in a race. Sadly, this particular cafe was just slightly off course and would have cost me too much time. It's always a balance for me between how much I want a nice day out in the mountains and how much I want to actually run a race. Having DNF'd last year, I was well aware that I needed to keep moving at a reasonable pace this time if I were to have any hope of crossing that finish line.
I remember this from last year. Absolutely spectacular colours on the hillside. Another opportunity for water. Fantastic. So I think now we have a descent to Reckingen, the next checkpoint. This is really powerful, this water. Look at this. Amazing. Right, fabulous. Okay, let's get down to Reckingen. No, Reckingen. Reckingen and then Blitzingen, I think. I don't know. Not far from Reckingen now. Man in a house up there gave me some Coke. It's fantastic. So the town is down there. Nearly 38 kilometres in nearly 9 hours. This is Reckingen aid station. Closes at 4:30. We've got a little bit of time, so that's all right. I've just had, what have I had? Soup with pasta in, which is very nice. And filled up my water bottle and my iced tea, which is going down well today. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Dankeschön. So we're off, and we're headed to the next aid station, which is Blitzingen, in about 6-7 kilometres from here. Danke! And it's a flat run along the river to Blitzingen.
I couldn't believe how good I was feeling. It wasn't that much cooler than last year, but I felt comfortable. I was able to run, and best of all, I had no stomach issues. Once again, I made good time on this flat section to the drop bag aid station at Blitzingen. At the Aspi-Titter Suspension Bridge, I had been over half an hour behind last year's time, partly due to the diversion, but also a more measured start anyway. I had now made all that time back.
So every so often I am dousing myself in these fantastically positioned water troughs. They're not for cattle, they are for human consumption, and it's beautiful fresh cold water. Lovely. So we've got about 3.5k to the next aid station at Blitzingen. The cutoff there is 5:30. Feeling good. Stomach hasn't turned yet. It does turn at some point, but it's all right at the moment. So I'm eating and drinking as much as I can whilst it holds off. Here is Blitzingen, a bit earlier than I thought. 44.58 kilometres. 10 hours and 2 minutes. Hiya, how are you? Yeah, I'm alright. Actually, I feel a lot better than I did this time last year.
You look a lot.
8k to choice to start. Blitzingen, by the way, is where people get their drop bags. I didn't bother with a drop bag, and I am going to go. Thank you, guys. off we go. I'm gonna walk it out because I've stuffed my face with a few things. So now, basically, it's the toughest section of the race. The next 30k is basically 2 very technical climbs. Not as long as the very first one that we did. So the longest climb of the day we did at the very beginning. But these are long enough climbs and legs are tired by now. So we'll do one of those climbs mostly in the daylight and then one of the climbs in the dark. But by the time we get down to the bottom of that second climb, we have 20k of up and down-ish, but nothing too serious to the finish. So let's get these next 30k done without dying and we'll be good. I am feeling a lot better than I did this time last year, so fingers crossed we can get it done. .48.5 kilometers, 10 hours 46 minutes. More water. We're about to start the first big climb of 2 big climbs we have to do before the end of this race. What an incredibly pretty village this is. Before we go any further, if you haven't subscribed to the Film My Run channel, please do that now. Much appreciated. And big thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Enator and Flying Burrito. So go and check the description of this video and you'll find a code to get some money off some Enator insoles, which will keep your legs from being completely trashed. And this fantastic Flying Burrito shirt. There's lots of different colours, lots of different designs. Go and check out the website and you can get a discount code in the description below. Right, let's get to the top of this climb.
Climbing that road up to Kaiserat, I couldn't help but think back to how I felt 12 months before. It was on this road that I knew my race was done. I'd been moving so slowly and I felt so exhausted. Things couldn't have been more different this time round. I was happy, full of confidence and belief that this time I was going to finish.
Okay guys, here's the situation. I'm absolutely fine. I don't know what I was going on about last year. We're 51 kilometres in, 2k to go to Kaiserat. 40 minutes it says there. So much better than last year. Oh dear. Still, tough climbs to come. It's fine, don't worry, I'm just having a little rest. We're all right. It's a tough climb, that's for sure. But this is where I decided I was DNFing last year, this exact spot. But it's not happening today. I am making it today. Okay.
Alright. Everything alright?
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Okay.
Just resting. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
I think the next aid station is just...
Very close, yeah.
All the best, see you soon.
Yeah, see you in a minute. Yeah, the next aid station is not far away now. So here we are at the aid station that I dropped at last time. It's very tempting. It's a soft climb, that. Very hard work. So I'm going to rest here a few minutes, I think. I'm going to try some potato and I've got coffee. I think I'm going to take 10 minutes here because yeah, that climb is really hard. And we've got more to go. Right, before I change my mind, let's get out of here.
Aber das ist auch stark.
So, you come in?
Yes.
In a minute.
Wir hätten ihr Gesicht gesehen.
I get it.
See you in a bit. You'll catch me on the climb. Right, that's Kaiserat at 52 kilometers, and we're approaching 13 hours, I think, are we? No, 12 and a half hours. So that's good. So we just need to carry on, just one foot in front of the other, very, very slowly get to the top of this climb. We need to be at the next aid station by midnight.
Slowly but steady.
Slowly but steady, exactly.
It's interesting looking back at the footage because I clearly found the last couple of kilometres up to Kaiserat very difficult and needed the rest at the checkpoint. However, as the heat of the day dissipates, I usually start to feel more energised. So I made my way in the evening light, excited to now be on new trails and well inside the cut-off times. The thing is, whilst I had rested at Kaiserat, I hadn't eaten very much, and this was to become more of an issue as time went on. Things were about to change.
I do believe that is a snow cave down there, like a snow tunnel for the river to go through. That is mad. So I can see runners on the other side of the river going right up that ascent there, that mountainside. I can see people way, way up there. So we've got a bit to go on this penultimate big climb. Nobody said it would be easy. "57 kilometers in 13 hours and 40 minutes.
Whilst we had been climbing gradually for a few kilometres, there was some very steep terrain to negotiate up ahead before reaching the summit of Eggerhorn at 2,500 metres.
Okay, here's where we start. The big climb, 475 metres. It's not actually that much, is it? Over 2.6 kilometres. Basically just straight up here. And it'll be head torch on in a minute, because the sun is going down, so it's going to get dark very quickly, I think. Right, we are 200 metres of climb away from the top. About 1.5 kilometres. So, look at that. The mountains behind me. Just incredible. Still no need for the head torch just yet. So, we carry on without it for the time being. Okay, we're pretty much at the top of this climb, so head torch on, and we'll begin a 6k descent down to Bin. We need to be there by midnight, and it is currently nearly 9:30, so we've got 2.5 hours to do 6k down the hill to Bin. 15 hours, 27 minutes, a marathon to go. We're on the descent down to Bin. I'm finding it quite difficult in the dark with my head torch just to make out the terrain below, but we'll manage. It's about 4k down to the bottom from here. And then we've got the final big climb, 1,200 meters back up to the top of Brighthorn.
It was on this descent that I started to feel more and more nauseous, As it usually does on hot days, my stomach had finally turned and I needed to throw up. I don't know if I was also suffering from delayed onset heat stroke, which apparently is a thing.
Okay, just arriving at Bin checkpoint.
Once inside at Bin, I knew I had to eat, but looking at the food, there was nothing I could stomach. I took a couple of bites from a slice of watermelon and immediately knew I was going to be sick.
These ladies want me to stop. We're not stopping. I've just thrown up massively downstairs. You know, part of the course, isn't it? That's what we do. See you at the finish line. Okay, a big climb, a big descent. It's getting serious now. We were having lots of fun earlier on. We're still having fun, but it's type 2 fun, and we're very tired. One massive climb left, and then even once we've done the climb and the descent, we've still got 20k to go, with around 500 meters of climbing, but it's low down, and by then the sun should be coming up. Across a lovely bridge. I'm eating chocolate, by the way.
Despite the bravado, I knew I was now in trouble.
So, since I last spoke to you, which was at Bin aid station at the bottom of this hill, I've climbed all the way up to the top, but things have not gone well. So, you may remember I threw up at Bin, and unfortunately all the way up here I've been throwing up again, so much so that I'm now dry heaving. And it's horrendous, but we are now pretty much at the top of this climb, and it's incredible up here. So I don't know what's going to happen. I feel very sick. I've got very weak legs now. I've got no energy because I can't keep any food down, which is very annoying because I'm having such a good time. Really loving this route, but unfortunately I cannot keep any food down and I'm just throwing up everywhere. Anyway, let's get to the toppermost of this climb. So this is where the journey ends. Top of Brighton, but I can't get down. I'm so weak. I've been throwing up everywhere. I can't keep anything down, and I think it'd be dangerous because it's a very long, very steep descent with no energy in my legs and my stomach all over the place. It's just not a good idea. And I hate to admit that I've been defeated again by this race. I so wanted to finish, and I was sure I would finish this time, but it's beaten me again. So there we are. And it turns out I missed the cut-off as well. I've just looked at my watch, and I came in about 10 minutes ago, and I was already 10 minutes over the cut-off. The cut-off here is 3 AM. And yeah, so I missed the cut-off anyway, so I couldn't have continued. But there's all that stopping on the way up, stopping so often to just throw up or dry heave.
I spent the night wrapped in blankets in a tent on the mountain and was kindly driven back to the finish line early the next morning. There I had a chance to catch up with Jakob, the race director of the Swiss Alps 100.
Jakob, what do I have to do to finish this race? This is twice now.
I know, maybe I have to pace you one of the parts. No, I'm just kidding. No, you just really never know what you're gonna get. I mean, if you come back, it could be rain, it could be anything, right? So it is a tough course.
When was the last time you had rain at this race?
That was 2018, and we actually canceled it mid-race.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to runners on the way, and we were saying if we make it to the top of Brighthorn,
Yeah.
we've made it. We've done it.
Yeah.
I made it to the top of Brighthorn, but
Right.
just too late.
Well, statistically, last time you made it to Kaiserat.
Yes.
Now you do Granules. So, I mean, now you have to make it to the end the next time. It's just logic.
So this is becoming a bit like TDS. Second attempt at the Swiss Alps 100 and second DNF. We are going to have to do something about that. So we're going to have to come back again next year. Thank you so much to Flying Burrito for the awesome shirt. Even though I didn't finish, I still looked the best on the course. And to Enator, I had no problems with my feet this time. The right socks and the right insoles protecting my feet. And to be fair, I'm walking perfectly well today. Having done 5,000 meters of elevation gain yesterday, the Enator insoles really helped out. So thank you to Flying Burrito and Enator. Links in the description to get your discount off those products. And I will see you again on the start line next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.